The morning air in the city was crisp, but for Tommy, everything else faded away. He stopped dead on the sidewalk, his nose twitching rhythmically as a heavenly, buttery aroma filled his lungs. A sweet, golden scent was drifting directly from the window of the local French bakery. Tommy pressed his face against the cool glass, his eyes widening at the sight of the delicacies within. There, standing behind the counter with an air of mock authority, was Jerry. The mouse wore a tall, pristine white baker hat that looked twice his size. Jerry caught Tommy's gaze, smirked playfully, and waved a tiny hand. "Bonjour, Tommy. Table for one?" he called out. Enraged by the taunt, Tommy kicked the door open and stormed inside. Tommy lunged, but Jerry was ready. With a quick flick of his tail, the mouse tipped a massive bag of flour right off the edge of the counter. A thick, suffocating white cloud erupted instantly, swallowing the entire room in a powdery haze. Tommy charged blindly through the mist, but his foot caught a stray rolling pin on the floor. He stumbled wildly, crashing into the main flour shelf and triggering a catastrophic chain reaction. 1, 2, 3 more bags burst open like snowy fireworks. When the dust finally settled, Tommy stood frozen. He was completely coated from ears to tail in thick white powder, looking more like a disgruntled ghost than a cat. Jerry didn't give him a second to breathe. He grabbed the industrial icing machine, aiming the heavy nozzle. "Hold still," Jerry chirped. A high-pressure jet of neon pink frosting blasted out, hitting Tommy square in the face with a sticky thud. Tommy peeled a heavy layer of pink icing from his eyes, his fur now matted, colorful, and incredibly sticky. A stray pastry hat fluttered down, landing perfectly on his head. Outside, passers-by stopped to snap photos of the ridiculous cake-covered cat. Growling with primal fury, Tommy chased Jerry into the back kitchen. Jerry scrambled toward a giant vat of rising dough and dumped an entire bucket of extra yeast into the mix. The reaction was instantaneous. The dough began to bubble, swell, and groan. It surged forward like a beige tidal wave, filling every corner of the kitchen. The massive mass pinned Tommy against the back wall, squeezing him tighter and tighter until he was unceremoniously shoved backward through the open window. Tommy oozed down the exterior brick wall, trapped in a giant, globby mess of sticky dough, unable to move. With a desperate grunt, Tommy peeled himself off the bricks and spotted a massive, 6-tier wedding cake waiting on a delivery table. He leaped onto the platform, ready for revenge. Jerry ran to the opposite side, and both grabbed the edges of the table. They began to spin it faster and faster. The world became a blur of white fondant and lace. The centrifugal force became too much. The cake layers detached and launched into the air like edible missiles. One by one, they descended, landing in a perfect, wobbly stack right on top of Tommy's head. He staggered under the immense weight, trying to keep his balance. Outside, a crowd began to cheer and clap. They were convinced this utter disaster was a brilliant piece of avant-garde street performance. Tommy could only wobble and glare. The applause was cut short by a heavy shadow. The head baker pig entered his shop, staring in silent horror at the shattered displays and the cat wearing his masterpiece. "Who decorated my shop?" the pig bellowed, his face turning a deep shade of crimson. Tommy and Jerry froze. They looked at each other for one brief second of solidarity, before simultaneously pointing fingers at one another. The pig didn't care for excuses. He slammed his heavy rolling pin down on the counter with a thunderous crack. Tommy and Jerry bolted, sprinting out the door and down the street with the enraged baker pig in hot pursuit.